I want you to imagine that everything you know about hair loss is wrong. I want you to imagine that the very food you eat, the thing that keeps us alive every single day, the thing that gives us sustenance, is actually potentially something that is causing you to lose your hair. Sounds pretty crazy, right? Well, turns out might not be so crazy. Research has shown that there could be some definite links between the diet that people eat and their hair loss, and also skin conditions. Hey guys, this is Jay Kent, and if you like this type of content, make sure you give me a like as well as leave a comment down below. Today we're going to be talking about an article that looks at the connection between diet and hair loss and skin conditions. And this is something that I found online. It's not my own research, and I'm going to leave a link to the article down below, but I think it's really interesting. Diet is something that I have been obsessed with since I was a teenager. I lost about 80 pounds and went from morbidly obese to pretty dang healthy. Ever since then, nutrition has been an important part of my life, and it continues to be to this very day as I continue to learn more and more about it. So today we're going to take a look at this article. I'm going to try to present it in a way that's understandable and get some nuggets for us to consider and do a little bit more research on. So this was a post on Medical News Today. Now it says diet-driven hair loss and skin damage may be reversible. Now what this article actually looks at is a connection and a study done between mice, the diets they're fed, and the skin conditions and hair loss that were exhibited about 36 weeks after. Now, interestingly enough, this study suggests that in mice, researchers from Johns Hopkins were able to confirm that a Western-style diet, those high in fats and cholesterol, has a negative impact on hair and skin health, even going further to developing a drug that is able to reverse the damage. So we'll talk about that at the very end of this video. Now, this article is actually filled with big words that are scientific and way too big brain for me to comprehend. And I'm sitting here like, I don't know what to do. But I'm gonna try to explain some of this. If there's any scientists inside of our YouTube channel here, please feel free to correct me, help us learn, and we'll get better at this together. So this article is entitled Inhibition of Glycosphingolipid Synthesis Reverses Skin Inflammation and Hair Loss in ApoE Mice Fed Western Diet. So after some extremely professional research and a couple of attempts to pronounce that word,
sphingolipid, glycosphingolipids.
I found this on Google. It says sphingolipids are both structural and functional lipids. Lipids are fats. Their physical properties affect the properties of membranes and lipoproteins, and they are critical components of the water barrier of skin. So that makes sense, right? It tells us a little bit more about its function inside of skin cells. This article says sphingolipids, or these lipids that have a role in the water barrier in skin, have been accorded numerous biological functions. However, the effect of feeding a Western diet rich in cholesterol and fat, on skin phenotypes and color is not known. Here we observe that chronic high fat and high cholesterol diet intake in a mouse model of atherosclerosis decreases the level of ceramides and glucosylceramides. So what are ceramides? Ceramides are a class of fatty acids called lipids. They're naturally found in skin cells and make up about 50% of the outer layer of skin, the epidermis. And interestingly, glucosylceramides, alterations in these levels are noted in cell and tissue in response to cardiovascular disease, diabetes, skin disorders, and cancer. So really interesting stuff here, right? That we're looking at the way that the skin functions, the way lipid functions inside of our body. And essentially, this article is looking at how high fat, high cholesterol diets are affecting the functioning of these cells. So moving to the results of this article. If you're ever reading an article and you're not big brain, kind of like me, and it's hard to understand words that have more than 10 syllables, it's good to go to the abstract and then the results just to get a synopsis, right? Now here's where it gets interesting, where we can actually look at the results of this study. So it says feeding a Western diet leads to skin dyshomeostasis preventable by the glycosphingolipid inhibitor BBT. So I'm gonna make some quick analysis of what I make this out to be. Remember, if you're a scientist, please correct me in the comments down below, but I'm going to do a little bit of interpretation to dumb it down to my level. So it says that mice that were fed normal chow from the age of 12 to 20 weeks had modestly increasing whitening, hair loss of skin, and skin lesion formation. Those that were fed a Western diet was continuing to 36 weeks of age noted a marked loss of hair, extensive whitening of the skin compared to mice fed normal mice chow for 36 weeks. Concurrent with the Western diet from 20 to 36 weeks, ameliorated hair discoloration, hair loss, and skin inflammation. But interestingly enough, they created an inhibitor of, forgive me for this word, but it is called DPDMP, or the full name is D301-phenyl 2-decanolamino 3-morpholino-1-propanol. And what this inhibitor did is it actually resulted in reduced inflammation and healing of the skin lesions and so on and so forth. So this is a really interesting article showing that one, diets can actually affect our skin and our hair health. And number two, inhibitors of glycosphingolipids, or this DPDMP inhibitor, actually causes the mice on a fatty diet to start to regain their lost hair, as well as their initial hair color, and skin damage also starting to heal. So pretty cool stuff to see inside of research, actual facts showing that our nutrition, what we're intaking, potentially can have a side effect and potentially can harm us and or heal us. I think it's really, really cool to see links like this. And I'm fascinated by research inside of hair loss, inside of nutrition, all this kind of stuff. If you guys like this type of content, let me know. I'd be happy to go more into it. I'd love to get better at reading these research papers for you guys. So if you like this kind of content, if you like me going out there and finding research, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.